What's going on, guys? Koi here. Today we're going to be talking about I keep saying Cursed Clash because of Jujutsu Kaisen, but I mean Nightmare Clash. Nightmare Clash, they have an event out right now. If you do not know, there is a Christmas event, and this Christmas event seems kind of hard to do for the people who don't know the numbers. Now, I'm going to help you guys learn that. So, pretty much, I'm going to teach you guys the best way to actually do it, what's more time consistent, and all in all. Now, I was able to pretty much beat most of the game without an evolution at all. And with just cricket, if you don't know, I made a video about that yesterday. You guys could take a look at that. Very broken, the cricket method. And like we get about like 400,000 shield and stuff like that. It's absolutely insane. So, let's go ahead and talk about it. So, I think sweep is probably the best way to kind of show this off real quick. So, as you know, from the Christmas event, you can get this from story mode, where you could get your hands on some stockings or stocking stuffers. Would you consider this stocking stuffers? I don't know, because kind of, yeah, because it has like, yeah, stocking. So, stockings, right? These are the currency for the event, and you get about 20 stockings every single time, no matter what. And I even tested this by beating the entire campaign on easy and then trying to take it to medium. And then also, we beat medium last with the cricket method, by the way, and we made it to hard mode. But I started to see something. I was like, okay, so right here, we only get 50 stockings, but you also get 50 stockings from completing the last hard mode on Wonderland. So this is the method. The method is actually just to complete Wonderland on hard mode multiple times, and it's not even that like it's not that hard. Like, honestly, I'm going to show you guys how easy it is, but I'm also going to show you guys the other method to actually doing this as well, which is obviously going to be challenges. But the reason I don't like challenges for this specifically is because, yes, challenges give you some of the best items in the game, from rainbow sigils to dice to souls that you need in order to get your characters very broken. I understand that. I love that. It just takes a lot more work than it does if you're just going to spam a story mode instead. Even though story mode does take a second to do, it's not as, it doesn't take too much time compared to whether or not we just kind of like take it to that next level and just spam or macro even, uh, you know, the hard mode for the 50 Christmas stockings. And I'm going to show you guys how fast it is and stuff like that. After that, if you guys do not know, there are some things I do want to give you guys some tips on, such as to pay attention for, such as evolution requirements and items and such. Now, for instance, you do want to make sure that you do at least get the event stuff before the event ends, such as the event items to actually evolve Krampus and to evolve Frosty. As you can see, it does cost 8 coal. That's what you need to focus on. Make sure that you actually get your 8 coal as soon as possible and focus on that Frosty Evo and that Krampus Evo and stuff like that. People probably already know how much it's going to cost to evolve Krampus. I've seen a couple people with it, but let's go ahead and get into this and show you how fast it is to do Chapter 5 hard mode to get that quick 50 event stockings, the method I use and stuff like that, how I pretty much beat the game with a starter team, and, you know, well, you should be ready for more videos, honestly. All right, so honestly, you do start off with 1,500 money, which is very, very good. Honestly, that it just has the best type of cricket start. The more crickets, the better. The more closer they are, the better. As you can see, they just pretty much will clear most of this content with no problem at all. I don't even need to put another character down, realistically speaking. But oh, I had autoplay on accident. That's okay. We're just gonna let this ride because honestly, even these like level 1 characters have their uses. And I'll explain my build for those who don't want to go back and check out my other video on cricket. If you want to see like how far you could take it to that next level, obviously check out that video. But over here, we're going to be talking about pretty much cricket himself. Cricket himself, if you do not know, has the passive ability to pretty much generate shield around him, equivalent to 50 plus 50% of Cricket's damage. Cricket's damage is about 300 and something right now, but whenever you actually upgrade him a few more times, you will see that his damage actually jumps up to about 2,916, as I do have S damage plus the increased damage. So what this allows me to do is actually generate almost 100, well, actually 1,500 shield every single time that he pops his skill. And the other thing that I do is I also bring the fairy onto the team. The reason why is because the fairy is going to allow me to actually generate more energy to generate more shields more quickly. And even a level 1 fairy can do this because keep in mind, even assassins only target supports. Cricket is a support. So as he's still generating shield, keeping himself alive, he can actually just keep it going. The other thing that kind of keeps it going is obviously Frosty to beat those damage checks, but I am going to have to get him evoed or replace him in order to actually defeat hard mode content. So far, we've been able to defeat all medium mode content with this build, and the only issue is hard mode content does require you to actually have characters that are evoed, which surpass the actual original, amount. So the last character that I do have on this list is actually pretty much the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow is actually a fantastic character. Doesn't require an active skill, doesn't require a passive skill. His natural attack actually gives him the ability to grant fear and an AoE radius. So if the enemies are bunched up, you'll see a Scarecrow hit, and all of a sudden their entire pack of friends are in fear, as you can see on the left side here. And that's just very, very broken. So, after that, you could kind of take these guys to that next level. I would also focus the build order to be Cricket first, then Fairy, then Frosty. The reason I say that is because Fairy does need to have a higher SPA. As you can see, Fairy, you need Fairy to attack as often as possible in order to trigger that that active skill, which allows Fairy to pretty much pop off. And there are other ways to obviously get that active skill and stuff like that. It really just depends on what build you use and stuff like that, but honestly, this build is absolutely fantastic. Even in hardcore mode, these characters are still going to be able to cook, and even in multiplayer instances, it's even better. For instance, in my last video, I did showcase Cricket being able to pretty much dominate the sphere, especially if you have multiple Crickets on the same team. Because you're able to stack even more shield, even more faster. And you can see some of the shield on some of these characters already in the 10,000s, 30,000 right there, 30,000 right there, 20,000 right there. And this is how you kind of win those engagements with characters that do 500, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 damage, because as long as you can take a couple hits, you won't be wasting your money on, units that die. And I think a lot of people do struggle with that as they run with tanks and stuff like that. The only way you could defeat other creatures with tanks and stuff like that is going to require a different type of unit, which I don't possess yet. I heard that Slenderman and other characters are pretty good, so I kind of want to see how that kind of pops off and kind of keep moving on from there because I want to see if there is a melee specific build that actually is going to pop off because I'm afraid that Jack Frost, once he turns melee, he might end up falling off in that regard of not being able to take advantage of the cricket buff. It's like I can't take this dude off my team. He's got to be like the best. He's got to be the strongest at the moment, and he's got to keep doing more and more damage in order for me to like keep up the flow of shield to keep my other characters alive. I mean, 6,000 HP is nothing. 1,000 HP is one shot. You know what I mean? So you got to pay attention to these numbers, or else you're gonna just waste money trying to spend money on characters that are just gonna keep dying. Scarecrow 2, obviously 1,000 HP at a level 1, but that passive, both passive and active skills for Scarecrow and the Fairy are just absolutely fantastic for this build. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below. I can't wait to make some more content on this game. I actually enjoy the premise. I love the combat. It's such an interesting game, and I can't wait to see more games like this hit the Roblox platform. All right. Well, take it easy, dudes, and peace out.